And with that note, I'd like to introduce Kimberly Juroviesky. I hope I did that right. Kimberly is going to be here. She's an incredible woman, a huge advocate for veterans' rights. And we're thrilled to have her back with us this year to continue to promote all the great work that she's doing. Kimberly, we're so thankful you're here, and we're excited to see what you have in store for us today. Enjoy.
Good morning, everyone. I'm super excited to be here, and thank you all for coming. Let's please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'd like to call Robert and some of our other hikers up on the stage to please hold the American flag for us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice and liberty for all. As we know, as we look around this room, and we see there's a lot of empty seats, but for a minute, let's think about those empty seats as though they weren't participants from Wonderland, but as though they were the people that never came home from war, or the people who came home from war but were left with deep battle scars and were unable to continue their journey and took their own lives. So I ask us all to take a moment of silence to remember those lost souls. Thank you. As we all know, we are here for a very important reason, and that's the reason of helping veterans and others to fight these battle wounds through ketamine and other psychedelic medicines. At 11 a.m. today, we're launching a new organization called Healing Our Heroes with the Hike for Heroes. This hike, we're going to have 5 amazing veterans, 3 of whom are on the stage right now, are going to hike 105 miles in honor of the 105th anniversary of Armistice Day, which we now know as Veterans Day. Our goal is to raise $105,000 in order to bring veterans, first responders, and others on healing retreats at no cost to them. Please meet us outside at 11 a.m. to kick off the Hike for Heroes. And now, I'm going to ask everyone to rise, oh, you're already risen, for the national anthem. Thank you so much, everyone. Please take a seat. And now I'd like to introduce our Veterans Day keynote speaker, Dr. and Brigadier General Stephen Xenakis. General Xenakis is a retiree of the Army where he made his lifelong career, and his lifelong career is also helping people. He now runs the American Psychedelic Practitioners Association, and we're super excited and glad to have him here this morning.
Well, thank you all, and good morning, and thank you for being here. And Captain Juroviesky, thank you for the invitation. It's a privilege to be with you all today, and particularly on this special day. And I want to salute you all for what you're doing and what you're continuing to do for your fellow men and women who are in uniform and continue to serve, and how you're keeping the fight going on here. And particularly this endeavor having to do with this field of treatments, how important it is, as well as the other treatments. You know, we have the greatest country in the world, and maybe in the history of civilization. And what's made this country strong is we've had the greatest military. And the military is the men and women who have served in uniform, have been willing to risk their lives, have continued to put the priorities of what they believe in, what we all know is right, that is the foundation of this country first. And they've continued to do that in uniform and out of uniform. What you're doing here, how you're promoting these particular treatments is vitally, vitally important. I salute you all, and I want you to go out and recruit others like you to keep this fight going on. Now, the soldiers, I'm an Army guy, so I don't mean to at all overlook the sailors and the airmen and the Marines and the Coast Guardmen, but the front lines, what you do is most important and has always been most important. What we know and what your experience is, these treatments really help. And now what you can do is tell people about that. Inform them, let them know what's happened, and speak up. On Monday and Tuesday, I had the privilege of spending almost full days in both the House and the Senate with our Congress people and with our senators. And what's clear to them is the voice of the veterans has really made a difference. It's really brought their attention to how important these treatments are, and that it's bipartisan. It's about every man and woman in this country, and what's most important about keeping the country strong. And they hear that. They know that, and they use your voice to go to the agencies, to go to the VA, to go to Health and Human Services, to go to the FDA, to go to the DEA and say, you know, these things make a difference. We know that there's a lot of science that needs to be done, but let's keep our focus, and it's on the men and women, on the people who are living with pain, the people who are living with the experiences and the memories of what they've done. Let's remember that. Let's honor that. And your voices make a huge difference. So I want to encourage you to keep that up, because that's what's going to change. It's always the folks, the service members on the front lines that make the difference. I had the privilege of being a general. It was great. I felt I could make a difference, but I knew that if we were going to accomplish our mission, it was those men and women on the front lines, and that's where you are. So I really want to do what we can. We're a practitioners association, and these practitioners are very interested in working out the best ways to provide these treatments and support you. But your voice is absolutely most important. So stand up, stand tall, speak out, bring your fellow service members, soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Coast Guardmen into the fight. Do everything you can to let folks know this is the right thing to do. And there's the right way of doing it. And what you're doing already does that. So I salute you all, because it's extremely important. And I really respect everything that you're doing. And we are going to do this together. We're going to make sure that all of us who have served in uniform are taking care of each other, and that we know that we're going to stay healthy and we're going to have the best lives that we all can. So God bless you. God bless America. Salute you.
Well, good morning. How's everybody doing? 9 a.m. on a Saturday in Miami at a psychedelic conference. Y'all are the hardcore ones, so I salute you. Well done. Honored to share the stage with the general, even though he's an Army guy. I'm a Navy guy, so we'll get along today. But good morning. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. And before we go any further, let's just say not all fighter pilots are running around out there with Gucci call signs like Maverick or Iceman. Let's just say some of us go out and earn our call sign, and it's usually by doing something stupid. So I'm Wiz, and I'll take no questions about how I earned that call sign. But 5 years ago, Wiz, if I saw me standing on the stage at a psychedelic concert, I'd kick my own ass. That guy died on the floor of a home on a mattress in Mexico 3 years ago. Probably everybody in this room has seen the movie Lone Survivor or read the book with Marcus Luttrell. So about 2.5, 3 years ago, me, Marcus Luttrell, Jared Taylor, one of the founders of Black Rifle Coffee, an NFL player suffering from horrific CTE, and another Navy SEAL. I went down to Mexico. I did ibogaine and 5-MeO-DMT, and it was without a doubt the most, I had to learn this SAT word, ineffable, because I can't describe what happened to me. It was without a doubt the most spiritual healing experience of my existence. Before I went to fly fighter jets for the Navy, I was a typical Irish Catholic kid from South Jersey, South Philadelphia, 6 kids. And my middle sister, Monica, was killed by a drunk driver when she was 19 as a freshman in college. And that was a hand grenade that went off inside my family. I don't think I saw my father smile again. Had some childhood sexual trauma around that time as well. I didn't shed those things when I went into the military. And then going into the military and flying fighter jets for 15 years, I lost 16 brothers. Best friends, acquaintances, groomsmen in my wedding. Gone. Along the way, 3 F-18 brothers, suicide. I bring that up because, as a general can attest to, in the military, as many of you know, we compartmentalize, right? You lose a buddy, you'll get to mourn her or him later. Actually, you kind of don't. You got to move on with the mission. So you get a lot of those little boxes building up inside of you. I had a lot of them. They came out in drugs, alcohol, and then leaving the military, you lose that sense of community. I unfortunately left the military and went to Wall Street. You want to talk about going from an environment where you trust your squadron mate with your life to an environment where these people would push their own mother in front of a bus to make $1. It was pretty brutal. I will tell you on the ibogaine, and my father died years after my sister of a broken heart. I guarantee you, he died of a broken heart. On the ibogaine, I saw my sister, and she was perfect. She was angelic, and I saw my father, and he was smiling, and they were perfect. And I was healed. And then they started to go away, and it was a horror. I was yelling out for them to not leave again, and they came back. And they kind of looked at me, and this time I followed them. And then they went into everything. They went into my daughter, they went into the sun, the trees, they went into this room, and I was healed. I healed decades of trauma with psychedelic-assisted therapy. I got back from that retreat, and I started the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. I said, this is the way. This is how we're going to stop veterans from taking their own lives. Family members, first responders. So I'm honored to be here. 22 a day. As some of you know, a couple small community colleges about a year ago, Duke University and the University of Alabama, actually dug into Uncle Sam's numbers. They weren't counting violent suicide, or they were only counting violent suicide. They weren't counting veterans who drank themselves to death or overdosed. So Duke and the University of Alabama said that number's closer to 44 a day. Walking around today, 1 or 2 veterans per hour will take their own lives. Folks, we're going to run out of veterans. So General, good luck on the Hill. We need this. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. I've been to Capitol Hill a couple times, and they kind of look to their left and look to their right, and they're like, Wiz, this is great, this is a good idea, and well, you might have a problem with Big Pharma. I'm like, you might have a problem with Big Pharma. I don't. Matter of fact, the No Fallen Heroes Foundation, for the past couple of years, we've been forced to go to Costa Rica. We've been forced to go to Mexico. Imagine that, being forced to leave the country you served and incurred trauma and have to go to another country to heal it. So I'm proud to report that a week and a half ago, we knocked out our first healing retreat in the United States in the great state in Colorado. Yeah. So thank you, Colorado, and thank you, Oregon, for leading the way. But just imagine that. God, source, truth, divine, the universe, whatever word you feel comfortable putting in that spot, I choose to use the word God, put these healing medicines on this planet for us to heal. And then man makes it illegal. So let that sink in. So General, good luck to you. Let me know if you need any help, sir. And I'm extremely fired up. So I'm going to be on a panel later today at 11. Thanks for having me. Again, I can't believe I'm standing on a stage talking about psychedelics, but that's the power. Thank you.
Thank you so much, General. Thank you, Wiz, for sharing your amazing stories. It's true. It's terrible that we have to leave our own country in order to get healing. And that's what both my organizations, Ketamine Taskforce and Healing Our Heroes, are fighting for. We actually did a retreat in Puerto Rico. It had a lot of issues, one of which was the fact that we had some very disabled veterans with us. And we realized that, God forbid one of us needed access to medical care. It'd be very difficult when you're up in the hills in a rural place. And that's why we are starting this new organization, Healing Our Heroes, to do retreats in the United States. Now, obviously, right now, ketamine is the only drug that's legal throughout the entire United States. And yes, I know some people claim ketamine is not psychedelic, it's dissociative. Well, I'll tell you a little secret. I have a friend who's an anesthesiologist. And she told me that there's no such thing as a dissociative drug. The reason they call it that is because medical people were afraid of psychedelic. So they said, oh, let's come up with a new word. We'll call it dissociative. But the truth is ketamine is very psychedelic. For me, it saved my life. I've been getting ketamine now for 9 years. I don't want to tell you my whole story now because I'll be speaking on a panel at 12 noon where I'll tell you more of that. But it is definitely a psychedelic medication, and I wouldn't be here today without it, unfortunately. I would have been one of those 44, as we now know the numbers are. But I thank God every day that I was given access to ketamine, and it saved my life. And our goal is to help make these other medicines legal as well, because everyone deserves access, whether it's ketamine, whether it's psilocybin, whether it's ibogaine, but every single person should have access to these life-saving medications. Now, I'm going to call our veterans to please join us up on stage. And if anyone wants to give a shout out into the other area there, I know there are a number of other veterans out there as well.
Any veterans, please come to Explore stage. Get your tears on. Calling all veterans.
Yeah, the coins. Oh, you got them, okay.
Any more veterans in the house? The Explore stage is rocking.
All right. We have a little gift for our veterans, so I'm going to ask General Zanakis to hand them out. And as we listen to the song, God Bless the USA.
Let me just reinforce what we heard from our great speakers here, that each of you have really done what this country asks of you. And it's most important. And it's you as a team, and because of the kind of courage that you talked about, not only the courage to do what you're doing, but the courage to follow up with that and be able to do something that other people felt may not be right, but you knew in your heart that it was. So I want to salute all of you. We do this in the military by giving these coins as a memory and a recognition of what it is to be part of this community. And I want you to carry that with you. I know we all hear it, thank you, all that kind of stuff, and we go, oh, yeah, wah, wah, wah. But carry it and understand how important it is. And bring your other fellow men and women who served in uniform into this fight. Because it's going to be from the ground up. I can't tell you how important it is. Because the work that you do and the others do, it's going to be from the ground up that we make a difference. And that's always been the case. So I salute you all. And this is a small recognition and an honor for everything that you all are doing. Thank you.
Across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless, please bless the USA.